I'm Ellen Weinreb. I'm the CEO of Weinreb Group, and we asked Chief Sustainability Officers how their role has changed over the last decade.
When I started in sustainability, there wasn't a sustainability department. It was really more, how do we fix a problem? We've got a customer and an NGO and a campaign on palm oil, human rights, you name it. So it was more discrete problems, if you will. Now I think we still have those responsibilities of doing those individual actions, but as a CSO, you've really got to think of the strategy and the macro framework, and there's a skill set still involves that complex thinking. It's still heavily people dependent and kind of how you read and have emotional intelligence, but there's a kind of, I always say too, it's a even more so thrive in ambiguity. Nobody's going to come in and give you a plan of here's what it takes to be a great chief sustainability officer. So I think it's how you fit it into the leadership context and your overall business strategy. That didn't exist when I first started, where it was spot market work. Now it's got to be strategy itself and align and integrate into the macro corporate strategy, and especially when you think of all of those kind of regulatory obligations, where things are headed there. So it has changed the sophistication and integration of it all relative to skills.
Yeah, my leadership role has changed quite a lot in the past decade. Certainly, sustainability has now become much more upfront and much more part of the strategic business decisions that we make as CSOs. That at IFF, we're driving sustainability to help us create new innovations, to delight our customers. We're using it as a business driver in each of our business units. So as a CSO, I've had to become much more of a change agent, much more of a strategic leader, much more of a marketer and a brander than I had or the role has in the past.
With regards to sustainability and the sustainability profession, we've always had to advocate for our programs, our initiatives. What I'm finding right now is that I'm much more attuned to the details of the overall corporate strategy, our business unit goals and targets, the investor landscape, as well as the complexity of the regulatory landscape. So a lot of new information, a lot of business-focused inputs have to be consolidated. And when I'm presenting my programs, I'm not only focusing on how are these aligned to the values of the enterprise, but how do they ladder up into corporate strategy? How do they help us with compliance? How do they generate ROI?
The role of the CSO has changed significantly over the last 10 years. I'll start with part one. The beginning was really focused on how we drive a PR and reputational strategy for the company around sustainability. That then evolved where we actually developed this strategy. So strategy became a big part of the CSO role to operationalize that strategy within the company and really drive the impact that we need to see along with the business growth that we need.
So the way that my role has changed is really kind of quite literally. I'm now the Chief Sustainability Officer and also in charge of enterprise risk management. So instead of just looking after the risks that we would see from water resiliency or climate change or in our supply chain, I now have the opportunity to look after the risks for the entire enterprise and globally. And I think it's a great intersection when you bring sustainability officers and risk management together. You have a great opportunity to kind of see the whole picture and even have a larger scale impact.